Hey everyone, welcome to another video of Nameless Things. So today we're going to take a look at my Spider-Man India collection. So this is a character that I love very much, and this first came out in I think 2004 or 2005. So it's been nearly 2 decades since this character came out. It first came out, as you can see here, in Gotham Comics India, which was a company that was printing all the small sized latest Marvel and DC issues at that time in India for very affordable prices. And this whole project was an idea of Satyajit Ray way long back then, when he met Stanley and had the discussion of having an Indian superhero. But that idea never materialized by him. It was years later when these creators like Jeevan Kang sat down with Gotham Comics and Marvel to collaborate and create this character called Spider-Man India. And like I said, this came out in 2004. This was around the time when Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2 came out. So when the hype and craze for Spider-Man was actually quite high, that's when they decided to go ahead and make this venture and introduce this character into the market. Sadly though, at that time it didn't really click in India. There was just very few people who I think were actively collecting comics, reading and understanding the character in comics, so perhaps it didn't click very well then. But years later, the interest really caught on. And actually, after 2004, it was like nearly a decade later since we got to see Spider-Man India again, and that was during the final issues of the Superior Spider-Man storyline, during the Spider-Verse storyline, when Superior Spider-Man, who was Otto Octavius in Spider-Man's body, recruited Pavitra Prabhakar for his fight against the Inheritors. After that, we have seen him in many other cameo appearances in other Spider-Verse stories, like the Edge of the Spider-Verse storyline, the Spider-Geddon storylines, and so on. But it was not until 2023 that we again got him in his own solo series, as you can see here, which is Spider-Man India Seva, written by Nikesh Shukla and with the artwork done by Tadam. So first up, as you can see here, this is the Spider-Man India's collected edition, which is a hard binding of the first issue of Spider-Man India. This is signed by the artist Jeevan Kang. So there was limited copies of this edition going around. Some are signed by him and some are not signed by him. And this also came with a pretty cool Spider-Man India poster that I have it somewhere inside, but I'll just put the picture up here so you can see what it looks like. It's him swinging across Taj Mahal. So this is a pretty cool artwork. I really love this a lot. I love the shiny effect that's going on here in the eyes, and I just love this spider on the mask, which seems to have gone away now with the newer designs. I hope they bring it back, and I really love this whole costume design. I know he's got a lot of new cooler designs, especially with the Across the Spider-Verse design that's there, but that's way too colorful, and I think they were going for a rich royal kind of look for Spider-Man India. But this looks very well because he's supposed to be a man for the people, kind of like the underdog character, which is where he started from. So this actually looks pretty cool and awesome. I hope they bring back this design someday. Let's take a look at this Spider-Man India here, and you can see here the story and artwork is done by Jeevan Kang and Gotham Studios Asia from Marvel. You have the whole team here who worked on the plot. This is the starting line. So this is basically a reprinting of the first issue. Not a reprinting, this is a printing of the first issue, and this is kind of like the Amazing Fantasy 15 of the Spider-Man India variant. But unlike the popular storyline, in this Pavitra Prabhakar doesn't get his powers from a spider bite. He instead gets it from a yogi who gives him his powers. Yeah, as you can see, this is the yogi who gives him his Spider-Man like powers. And he puts on his mask, he gets this awesome costume over here. Yeah, and this is the Green Goblin. And you know what I miss a lot about this storyline is the kind of the whole touch that they gave about the whole Puranas, about Asuras and gods, and how that angle played into Spider-Man getting his powers, and how it also played into the first villain who was having inherited the powers of a Rakshasa from an amulet. I wish they bring back this theme in the Spider-Man India storylines in the future. Yeah, see cool artwork of Spider-Man here swinging across Mumbai. Yeah, this is where Uncle Bhim, or is it Uncle Bhim or Uncle Bhim? I don't know how it's pronounced with the English names. I mean, it's an Indian name, but written in English, and that's always a problem to pronounce. And you see here the final look of Peter Parker or Pavitra Prabhakar learning that with great power comes great responsibility. This is the artwork, some lot of behind the scene and storyboard art, like conceptualization artwork and sketches, as you can see here. Yeah, you can see all the early character designs that's going about over here for Pavitra Prabhakar and for Spider-Man India. gives that Tobey Maguire kind of feel where he was sketching for and trying to figure out the design for his costume. And you have look at the different designs for the Green Goblin. You can see here that they've tried to maintain the original look of the Green Goblin mask while giving him some long Rakshas like kind of hair. And these are some of the character designs of the other characters in the book. Again, more of Nalin Oberoi. And you have Meera Jane over here. I wish they bring her back now. Marvel always has some problem with Mary Jane and her variants, except for the Ultimate Universe. God, touch wood, please let nothing happen to that. Yeah, as you can see, character designs, more different comic panels that were probably not used in the final cut, but pretty cool to look at. Yeah, this is the first page. Well, the second page actually. This is. Yeah, and you can see how the process went behind to making the Green Goblin. The Yogi who gives Spider-Man his powers. I think this orange looks pretty cool over the blue one. I mean, the blue is pretty cool as well, but I think this orange one is pretty cool. This is the poster design I have currently with me. There's a lot of different posters that came during this time. There was one of this, there's one of the Green Goblin that we saw, and there's one of Spider-Man who putting on his mask for the first time. So there's a lot of different posters that were there, released by Gotham Comics back at the time. This is the issue 3 cover, and this is another variant of the second issue cover where he's swinging across Taj Mahal, which is pretty cool. So just like we saw a while ago, this is the single issue copy from Gotham Comics. So this is the first issue of the Spider-Man India. So this was a 4-part issue, and this is issue 1, which tells the origin story of Pavitra Prabhakar about becoming Spider-Man and how he learns that with great power comes great responsibility. Issue 2 with him swinging across Taj Mahal, and this is a Singaporean edition, as you can see here. And this particular one, the story is more about him where he's got his powers now and he's trying to figure out the correct balance of being Spider-Man and a student. And that's when at the end of this he meets Dr. Octopus, which is what we see in this issue, which is also a Singaporean edition over here. This is a fight with Doc Ock, or I don't know what was his other name. There was some Indian name for Doc Ock. I forgot it. I have to read the book. It's been a while since I've read this book. And the final battle with Nalin Oberoi, or the Green Goblin, who at this point has kidnapped both Meera Jane and Aunt Maya, who Pavitra Prabhakar has to fight. And this is an Indian issue, and this is the oldest Gotham comic that I have in my collection since I was a kid. And as you can see, it's all banged up and in a pretty bad collection because earlier on I was not all that great at keeping books in a great condition, but then luckily I held on to this one, and that's what made me go into collecting this whole series. So I'm so glad I have all the 4 issues of this series. Fast forward to 2 decades later, this is in 2023. This is Spider-Man issue 1 of the Spider-Man India Seva storyline that came out, written by Nikesh Shukla with artwork done by Tadam. And this one here is a single issue copy that I got from the Bengaluru Comic Con 2023. This is not the main single issue that was out in market by Marvel. This is a reprinting by Comic Con which I have over here, but I'm so glad I have this particular issue. And I love this storyline as well, because obviously after 2 decades finally Spider-Man India came back and got his own storyline, and I hope Marvel continues it also. But in this, basically he's struggling to again balance his role as Spider-Man and as Pavitra Prabhakar, and he's going through the turmoil that Peter had in his early days of, does the society really need Spider-Man anymore, or can he just balance it by being a good human being as Pavitra Prabhakar? And on the other side there is this corporations, Giri Corp, who want to buy the whole neighborhood and destroy it, and that would leave all the people who are living there right now deserted with no home. And Spidey is obviously not going to let that happen. But on the other side is also the lizard who comes about, which is basically made from Pavitra Prabhakar's blood and energy, I guess. It's either energy or his blood. I don't remember exactly which one, but it is directly linked to a source from Pavitra Prabhakar, which leads to the creation of the lizard, which he must also battle while trying to save his neighborhood. And this is issue 5. This is the variant cover with the new character design, or the new costume for Pavitra Prabhakar, done by Tadam. And as you can see, I got this signed by him this year during the Bengaluru Comic Con. It was so awesome to meet him, and I really want the original A cover variant of the 5th issue, because that one has him lying down with all the people carrying him, which is like a homage to the Spider-Man 2 moment where all the people in the train lift him up and realize that he's a hero. outside of the comics, I have a few Spider-Man India artwork. As you can see, this one is a big poster that was done by Tadam, where Spider-Man India is swinging across Bengaluru. This is signed by him, so I got this signed by him during the convention when I met him this Jan. So he did this, I think, for almost every Comic Con that he went to. He did one for Hyderabad, one for Mumbai, one for Delhi, and then one for Bengaluru. And another thing that I have is, this is Venom India. So this was an independent commission that I asked Adam to do for me, which he did. So it was a whole new conceptualization, and this was a totally independent character design, for Venom India. So if at all Marvel decides to pursue this storyline of having Venom in an Indian style, then this would probably be one of the early character sketches that he could submit, and if they like it, this would be the official design. So either way, I am very glad I have this one, because this is just so cool, and I definitely think there is scope for a Venom India, because in the early issues there was the hint that was left at the end of the comic series with the Venom symbiote, but that just had like a red spider tilak on it. There was not much design that was going on to it. It was just the symbiote. So this is like a proper Venom India who looks like an Asuran or a Rakshasa demon over here. So I don't know if they'll ever pursue this character, but I would definitely be hyped and stoked to see that. So that was the video, guys. This is my Spider-Man India collection. Let me know what you think about Spider-Man India, and which costume of this character do you like a lot, and would you be interested to see this character get his own issues and storyline going forward from Marvel. Be sure to hit the like button if you like this video, share it with your friends, and do hit subscribe to stay tuned for more such videos, and I will catch you guys later. Peace.